Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome into your reading. So glad to have you here. We are doing a collective reading for all the Sagittariuses, what they need to know right now, any sort of advice, any sort of answers that they are looking for, things like that. Give you a nice, beautiful reading. So that way it can help you in your journey. So let's go ahead and dive on into it. What does Sagittarius need to hear in this current moment? Apparently a lot, because that just came the freak out. Okay, that was a bit awkward. But we got all the cards. Let's see, okay. Yeah, okay. We'll take that. Let me give it another good shuffle really quick. Then we'll take the rest of the cards. Okay, here we go. So, we have the Three of Wands. We have the Eight of Cups. The Seven of Swords, Page of Wands, Temperance, Sagittarius cards, Seven of Wands, two more, Nine of Swords, and the Ten of Cups. Okay. Very interesting energy. Beautiful cards. So we got the Three of Wands and the Eight of Cups. And the energy that I was kind of tapping into kind of really goes into the cards a little bit here. And the energy that I was specifically tapping into for the collective of Sagittarius is that I feel like most of you are dealing with something that you're trying to resolve. And most of you are trying to find that one specific answer. And I feel like you are stressing about this situation, this problem. I feel like there's a lot of inner turmoil, things like that, that is causing a ruckus. And it could also be you having your guard up, and this inner turmoil presents itself outside as well. I feel like it's not necessarily all within inside yourself. I feel like this is a projected energy as well. It almost feels like not necessarily like lashing out in anger or lashing out in fear or whatever energy that you might possess at the time. It almost seems like whatever energy that you are embodying creates around you without you even trying. And I think that is because Spirit is trying to guide you back into an internal flow of not only like your body and your mind and your soul, but also like the flow of natural existence, right? Because it almost seems like you are wanting to have like that leadership, or you're wanting to have the ability to change something. But within inside of this like eagerness to change something, it's almost like you're not willing to kind of experience the life that is currently happening to you. And especially if you're waiting for that one specific answer, you are also like dodging the potential of other things that could potentially be for your highest good, right? And it might not just be that one answer. It might be that Spirit, universe, life is trying to provide you a pathway. It might be that they're trying to guide you into something that is healthier for you and something that is more sustainable, long lasting, and to provide you certain energies to help formulate a newer version of yourself. Because it almost seems like you're supposed to grow into a new version of yourself that takes these challenges learns from them, wraps them all up into a nice little bow and present, and, be able to have that energy to kind of like give to people, right? And what I mean by that is like the lessons that you learn. Let's just say, for example, if you are acting out of fear, right? Whatever that fear-based mentality is, you learn from it, you overcome it. You're no longer acting in that. You're acting in the opposite of that fear and confidence. And you are able to project that energy now out into the world, and it gives back to you in a much greater way than the way the fear is being projected. So I kind of feel like these are supposed to be overcome for them to be kind of like guidance tokens in a way, right? These little nuggets that you are experiencing, whatever you're working with on the internal and projecting outwards, needs to be in a way looked at and reciprocated, because those are going to be your answers, right? Those are going to be your guidance, get you back into the flow of the existence of your life, and that you're not going to necessarily dodge around them. You're not necessarily going to avoid them. You're going to take them head on. And like I said, it's creating you into a newer version of yourself that can take on things that are meant for you. The imagery that I was kind of hitting before we started this reading was a kid at a water park. And this pool of water is right at the bottom of these tubes that come out as the water slides. There's multiple different tubes, up to 3 to 4, however many you are potentially thinking of as you're resonating with this message. And the kid goes up to the top, get into this water slide. But for some reason, their expectation is like, they've already set their mind to, I want to come out in the third tube. I want to go down this third slide because that looks the coolest. But when it gets to the top, or her, they realize that it's only one entry. And they're puzzled. What's going on? Like, I already had my mind made up that it's the third one. I was already predicting that I was going to go down the third one. But there's only one. And what this kid does not realize is that going into this tube, and this is not realistic. I don't think this is possible at a water slide. This is the imagery that I was getting, is that yes, there is one entry. But once you get into it and you're going down the water slide, based off your weight, your size, things like that, depends on when you maneuver into a different tube to come out in a different way. So if you were a bigger person, you might have more weight to keep you going down the slide into a different direction. But if you're a smaller person, you might go down the simplest route. Things like that. So what my point being is that your flow is going to be unique. Your flow is going to be different than the next person, right? And you shouldn't have any like sort of expectation of what that flow is supposed to look like or what that flow is supposed to be, and that you are going to be guided the way that you are supposed to. And that's what you should follow, is that internal compass, that internal guidance, that flow that is naturally meant for you versus what you think it should be or what you think you should be looking for. And I feel like if you're constantly looking for it, you're constantly not going to ever find it, especially if you're looking for that one specific answer. So the message here for me is to tell you to stay, grounded and present, and knowing who you are, knowing what you are resembling, knowing what comes up with inside yourself, whether it's conflict on the external, conflict on the internal, and you trying to control that. You need to be able to see the things that you need to improve, walk away from, things like that. And those messages that come up with inside yourself is guidance, is guiding you to the potential of your newer self that you're supposed to become, because it's almost like a new chapter for you. Once you get to this newer self, once you get to this completed person that you're supposed to be, because you're overcoming a lot of things internally and changing a lot of things internally that will show itself and show you the reasons why you're having to go through this. And all that together will provide you the flow to make it to where you think you're supposed to be. Because I feel like you already think that you're supposed to be somewhere else than you are right now, which potentially could be correct, but you can't predict that. You can't look for that realistically. You have got to see where you're being guided in this flow and let it flow. Don't try to restrict it. Don't try to hold your ground on that, right? So, yeah, we have oracle messages of the Pegasus, transcending, unicorn, purity, and reflection pool, stillness. So there's time where you need to see the things that's within inside yourself, see what things are coming up, reading the messages clearly. And if you feel like you're not getting messages, then that's probably the fact that you're not being still enough. You're not being present enough, because you are. You need to be more receptive to yourself and the energies around you, and making those connections, being able to see more clearly what those connections could be for you. And actually digging a little bit deeper than you naturally would to some degree. Don't get super obsessive, right? You don't want to be that kind of person, but you definitely want to be a little bit more discerning, be a little bit more analytical, be a little bit more detective, I guess you could say. Because there's some things that you're being asked to rise above. You're being asked to cleanse yourself from certain attachments, certain energies, maybe even certain things that you felt like were you or that you belong to. Maybe revitalizing maybe a past belief, or maybe creating a new belief, an internal belief, or a belief about the world, things like that. Morals, whatever you feel like resonates with you on that. This is something that you were cleansing. This is something that you are creating. This is something that is changing your point of view, so that way that you can see when things are coming at you to flow with that and be guided to where you're supposed to be and resolving this problem that you might be facing. And the problem is a problem for a reason. The problem is to get you thinking. The problem is to get you to maybe a higher version of yourself, matching, the higher self calling that you might have right now, and is asking you to let go of certain controls that you might be trying to try to do. You're not working with it. You're working against it almost. You're willing to run away from your problems, then you're not solving anything, right? So being able to work with the universe, work with spirit, work with the flow versus trying to predict it, trying to say, that's where I'm coming out at. I want to go down the third slide, instead of, just having fun with it, working with the energies. You want to be present. All right. So what is this transcending card? Where is Sagittarius going with this? Where is Sagittarius transcending to? We have 10 of Wands, the 3 of Swords, and the Page of Swords. Okay. So there's something that you are rising above. There's something that you are mastering. You are claiming success. You are claiming victory against something that I feel like has been long overdue for you. This is something that I feel like could be a story or an attachment that you might have for yourself. This could be an energy that has been long lasting through most of your life, if not all of your life. And it's a super big burden. I feel like this transcending is a huge chapter in your life. This is going to be one of the biggest victories that I feel like you are going to have in your lifetime. And this might be a chapter of something that I feel like maybe you were contracted to overcome in this lifetime, right? This is something that you were designated to work on. This is something that you were needing to process and needing to overcome. And you have the ability to do it. It's almost like you're on edge of an airplane and you're about to parachute out of this airplane. And right now you're just like super scared, super nervous, not wanting to jump out. And now you're about to be shoved out because you're going to have to learn this. You're going to have to overcome this. And there's a lot of things that are against you, but you have the power, you have the will, you have the intelligence, you have everything that you need to overcome this. And you will release this burden, this energy, and get out of what you feel like is dangerous to you, or you feel like is something that is not helpful to you. And you will release this energy of this story or of this claim that is bothering you or has bothered you for a long time. You'll learn a lot of things through it. You will learn a lot of things to become, right? You're going to be transforming into this newer energy that will never be messed with again with this type of energy. And you'll claim that power. You'll claim that and you'll get through it. So whatever that is for you, it's a very beautiful thing and it's going to happen. It'll be awesome. So what advice does Sagittarius needs to hear? What do they need to hear? We have Six of Pentacles, Nine of Cups, and Five of Pentacles. So, the best thing for you is to not really dwell into this energy of past, not really dwell into the energy of things need to be fulfilled in a certain way. What you don't have needs to be given to you, or you need to work for it harder, or you need to possess it like right away. I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think this is something that you're going to have to look into the finer details of. This is something that you're going to have to be patient with, like nurture, give balance to, and give a certain amount of energy to it at a certain time. You know, maybe it's going to be a process of multiple days, multiple weeks, multiple months, but you can't rush through it. You've got to give it a little bit at a time and allow that to give back to you. So that way, whatever you're giving the energy to it, you're receiving something to work on just a little bit at a time, because you're kind of like absorbing it, transmuting it, releasing it, and then transcending above it. And you're working with it as a partner, right? And then once you get to that final stage, you are going to be able to release yourself into that final version. That final version is going to let itself be known. You're going to receive a lot of abundance. You're going to receive a lot of catering and gifts and good energy to help propel you to that final version. And that's what you're waiting for, right? You don't have that just yet, but you got to be patient within that energy. You've got to understand that energy. Why are you there? Why are you processing this? And it's time to get more introspective, intuitional, things like that, and really see the bigger picture, really see where you're at currently, and not trying to avoid it, not try to like necessarily feel sorry for yourself or feel upset that you're in a certain predicament or situation or dealing with a certain problem. That's not necessarily where you need to put your energy. You need to put your energy into advancement, into overcoming, into becoming the light that you are looking for, right? That's where you're coming from, is can you become the light that you are looking for? That's the process right now. So the mindset needs to change. The mindset needs to change from looking for that one specific answer and going with the flow, being present with the flow. And I think a lot of things will start to give back to you as much as you give to it, right? If you pay it attention, it'll give back to you in the greatest way possible. So if you're not willing to pay attention to it, if you're willing to avoid it and claim a story that is not yours to claim, then you're not going to be ready. You're not going to advance. So pay attention, give time to it, cater to it, and it'll cater back to you in the right ways possible. They'll show you the signs. If you're paying attention enough, you'll advance, you'll follow the signs, you'll follow the flow, and you'll get back to where you should be. And you'll become the next person that you're supposed to be as well. So very beautiful reading. I hope this all makes sense. Hopefully it's not too hard on you and you were able to resonate with it and get some answers, get some clarity, things like that. But I love you all so much. Thank you so much, Sagittarius, for being here. And until next time, until next reading, take care.